Hey guys, it's about 5 o'clock here, November 3rd. I took a trade in the aftermarket that I wanted to go over with you guys. I had a meeting going on, a Zoom meeting at the same time. It was a group meeting, so I was still kind of able to take a trade without people noticing, but I couldn't record my screen, of course. But it was a pretty good trade, so I wanted to go over it with you guys. It was with Acor, and what happened was it popped up on the aftermarket top gainers list right after the bell closed, maybe 2 minutes after. It was number one, so that made me pull it up on my trade screen. And when I did, I saw these two candles were this one was formed, this one was forming. And so my strategy is to, wait for a pullback from the high of day or the high of the session, and then buy for the breakout of a 1 minute candle. And that's pretty much what I did. This candle here had a high of 118, and then on this candle I was watching it come up, and then as soon as 119 popped up over here, I hit my buy hotkey. It's the same thing as this, but it's just triggered by my hotkeys on the keyboard, and I got filled exactly where I wanted to at 119. Let me make sure you can see the time and stuff. Yeah, so this was at like 4:04 in the afternoon. I got filled at 119, which was ideal. And then I tried to get out near the top of this candle, which was at 123, I think, but I got out at 121. So not ideal, but still it was like a 12-cent profit on when you consider it the 6 shares. And then this thing, continued up, but it kind of chopped around a bit. It never came back down during this run to my break even. But I wasn't feeling like super strong about it. Like, with these candles were huge. But here that same thing kind of wasn't happening. So I did sell out a little bit more along the way. 3 more shares at $1.22, 1 more share at $1.23. Then I only had 2 shares left. And I probably should have sold the rest because, like I said, this thing seemed a little bit weak. I probably should have sold the rest when the bottom of this candle broke. And got a little bit more profit out of it. But what I did instead was held to my break even on those 2 shares. And eventually it came back down and it hit my break even at 119. And that's when I sold the rest of the shares. This keeps on flipping like this. Okay. So these were my final 2 shares, and I got out at 119, which is where I got in. So that was a break even on those 2 shares. So altogether, I think I made like 19 cents or something on this trade. So it wasn't, again, it wasn't nothing to write home about or anything like that. But basically, I had 2 losing trades earlier in the day, so this was a nice little kind of a crawl back and get some of that money back. And it was a pretty good trade. Ideally, what happens in something like this is those final few shares that I'm holding, this thing continues to run and maybe even runs up in the pre-market the next day. That didn't happen here, but, there's no guarantees, and that's why you just kind of keep watching. I mean, you'll see what happened. This thing sold off pretty hard. So it's a good thing I got out where I did, and that's why you always want to have an exit plan. It doesn't matter what you think the stock might do or what you want it to do. You already, before you get in the trade, you have to know, okay, where am I willing to consider this trade failed, and get out and stick to your guns. And that's it. All right, guys, hope you had a good day today. I'll see you tomorrow.